Thanks, Juliet. The White House hinting that President Obama's job speech next Thursday is just the start of a series of economic speeches and proposals. But do we really need more talk? What about walking the walk? For a fair and balanced debate, we're joined this morning by liberal political humorist Rob Taub and radio talk show host Neal Asbury. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
Neal, let me start with you. If, in fact, these early reports, speculations are correct, and he's not going to unveil everything in that speech on Thursday night, why then call a joint session of Congress?
Well, I mean, this is a huge issue, obviously, facing the country. Quite frankly, I believe jobs to President Obama is going to be what Vietnam was to LBJ. It is going to undo his presidency. What's happened here, Dave, is this, is that the job creators, the small businesses, the entrepreneurs, the medium-sized businesses have all checked out on this president. They're looking past Obama right now to 2012, and they're not going to get back in the game in this next 18 months. I mean, that's the stark reality. But the amazing thing is that the unions have given up on the president. Richard Trumka this last week said that Obama is a follower. He's not a leader on the economy, in that he's just nibbling around the edges. It is unprecedented for a major labor union leader to dress down publicly a sitting Democrat president on jobs and the economy. So what can he say?
He has a major speech in front of those labor leaders, I believe, in the next couple of weeks. I think Richard Trumka and those folks are going to stay on board. Rob, let me ask you, though, to Neal's point, that businesses are looking past this speech and past 2012 into the next president. What can the president say on September 8th to satisfy some of those small businesses who are sitting on the sidelines?
Well, the president is definitely in trouble, and he's going to have to lead. It's hard for him to lead because he's made a mistake from the beginning with his health care bill. He had control of both houses of Congress. Instead of doing something simple, he tried to push something difficult and complex through that neither side really wanted. So he's never really gotten a foothold. I think that what he has to do is try and put the onus a little bit on the Republicans and say, work with me, work in conjunction with me. This country was built on a bipartisanship, and it's not happening right now. The Republicans are criticizing Obama, but they're not doing anything. They're just complaining about him.
One thing he did on Friday, Neal, is cut back on some EPA regulations that would reduce smog. Many in the business community say that was a win. Some say it was a loss for the environment, but a win for the business community. Did that satisfy some of the businesses? And is there any hope, to Rob's point, of some bipartisan work to get jobs created?
Well, let's talk about the first issue. Regulations in our economy cost us about $1.7 trillion a year. So whatever the president did was just a drop in the bucket. I mean, the president needs to say that we're going to declare war on regulations, and that was just not enough. And the other things that the president has to say, he can't say or he won't say. He's not going to say that we're not going to raise taxes. In fact, we're going to give tax breaks to the job creators. He's not going to say we're going to cut $4 trillion out of our budget so we can get back on track here and perhaps get our rating back. He's not going to say that that we're going to create the environment here that's going to get jobs and get people hiring again. He's not going to say we're going to give access to foreign markets for our American exporters.
Let me bring in Rob one last time. He's just not going to say the things that
Republicans are looking for.
He is going to say that he wants some tax cuts. We know that. We know the payroll tax cut is going to be part of this job speech. But what can he say to satisfy the left here? And is this about finding someone to blame going into 2012?
Are we going to me here?
Yes, we are.
Well, first of all, that's the big problem. There's been nothing but a blame game going on for 2 years now. The Republicans have had time to speak about things, and one of the biggest wastes of time they've had for Obama's entire presidency is talking about whether or not he had a legitimate birth certificate. Here's Donald Trump, who's supposed to be an expert on business. Did he come in and say, I have a great way, Democrats and President Obama, for you to create jobs? No, he wanted to talk about whether the guy had a birth certificate or not.
Though the people that are supposed to create jobs in this country were not the ones criticizing his birth certificate.
Okay, then let's go to regulations. I don't think that getting rid of the EPA is going to solve a problem. What's it going to do? Light the Cuyahoga River on fire again in Ohio?
Some businesses are happy about it, but we've got to leave it there. Rob Taub, Neal Asbury, thanks both for being here. We appreciate it. Coming up, the
Thanks,
government
Dave.
just